Hello friends, Jai Parshuram. Today we are going to see the review of the movie Hacksaw Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge is a movie about World War II battle between America and Japan at Okinawa, Japan. Okinawa was one of the last fortresses of Japan, and they really fought very hard for it. And it had a ridge. Ridge means what? What is hacksaw, first of all? Hacksaw is this thing, this is called as a hacksaw, which is used to cut wood. And ridge means something like, suppose there is a mountain like this and it is cut like this, so that is called as a ridge. So it's a hacksaw ridge because you have to climb up the ridge. Here the Japanese people are there, here the American troops are there, so Americans have to climb up. That's why the ridge. And they will be sawed down by the Japanese because it is their fortress, it is their strongholds, and it is one of their strongholds, and that's why the name Hacksaw Ridge. This is how that ridge really looked like. So this is where the Japanese were, and this is where the Americans were, and they had to climb up this particular ridge. There are many more pics also where you can see that image was a little, I think it was skewed a bit, but this one is a more appropriate one where you can see the height. And they used to climb using this kind of a structure made up of ropes. So this kind of a structure they used to climb up on it. And all of this is shown in this movie. Americans climbed it 6 times. Every single time they were slaughtered very brutally, and almost none of them could survive. Okay, a few, means 4 or 5 people used to come back. All of them used to die over there. 6 times this has happened. And now the 7th time, they are once again planning to go up. And with them is our Desmond Doss. This guy. This guy is just a medic. Okay, he is a pacifist. He says, I won't be picking up weapons. So this guy is there at one of the most brutal sites in World War II. And then what does he do? So basically, of course, he doesn't pick a weapon, but of course, soldiers from both the sides are wounded, and night falls. During the night, this guy rescues a few soldiers. In the day, once again, this battle starts. It is way more brutal because this time a lot of Japanese have come. So Japanese reinforcements used to come early because this was happening on the Japanese ground, and American reinforcements used to take 2-3 days. So these people are still stranded over there, and a lot of Japanese are flooding in that area. Besides, in the latter part of the movie, you'll come to know that Japanese have trenches connected to certain bhuyar, what is it called, certain holes in the ground, and there's an entire there are hidden trenches through which they can communicate, I mean they can come to this battlefield. So Japanese people's reinforcements used to keep on coming, and these people, Americans, had to stay within some trenches or within some ditches. Not even trenches, these are the holes that were formed due to bombing. Those holes, they used to stay within that, and they used to keep on shooting. So it's a trench warfare, but Japanese trenches were connected to a secret way through which the reinforcements arrived. And these people had to climb up through this ridge in order to reinforce, and even these reinforcements used to come 2 or 3 days apart. So this is how it is. So those 2-3 days which Desmond Doss spends on this ridge, the movie is all about that. Okay, but it also tells about the bringing of Desmond Doss. Desmond is the son of a war veteran in World War One. His father had fought, and he is suffering through PTSD, excessive drinking problem, and his mother is, of course, these are Protestant Christians. So even within Christians, they belong to Seventh-day Adventist Christian. So Adventist Christian means those Christians who think that the Jesus is going to come back. Okay, so this normally started in I think 1800 something in America, of course 1830, I guess, in America. So they belong to Adventist church, very very religious, and Seventh Day, and of course they are Protestants normally don't believe so much into rituals as much they believe in self-suffering and making yourself pure for the Lord, or maybe living the life like Jesus Christ full of pain and hardships for the betterment of others. So Jesus, he sacrificed himself for other human beings, right? So especially Protestants believe a lot into, just having a very dear connect with the Lord. By the Lord, I mean Jesus. And you know they don't believe much into rituals and all. Okay, whereas these what are they called, Catholic Christians, they have big what do they call it, churches laden with gold and silver and a lot of jewelry and all. Those are Catholic Christians. So they are more pompous, and they believe in Pope and everything. Whereas Protestants normally believe in self-suffering, and they want to live like Jesus. And of course, if I'm giving a history lesson, then I should also tell you about Orthodox Christians, who are the third type of Christians. Normally, they are left now in very few countries of Europe, and Russia is the main place where Orthodox Christians are there. Orthodox Christians do not convert other people, whereas whether it is Catholics or Protestants, they do convert people. So these are Protestants, and amongst them they are Adventist Christians. So of course they believe in self-suffering, working very hard, maybe utilizing your body completely in the service of the Almighty. That is what they believe in. And seventh day means they believe that Saturday should be the off day and not the Sunday. So those are called as Seventh Day Adventist Church. Of course, it started in, I think, 1830 in America. So he comes from that background, very religious. He always carries a Bible, which is given to him by his girlfriend. Okay, and his girlfriend also says that always keep this Bible besides you, or maybe with you. It will show you the path. And this guy is that religious, and then he comes into this military. And the first thing he says is, rest of the training I can definitely do. He was born in the mountains, so he knows about climbing and this and that. He is number one in completing that obstacle course and everything. But when he was told to target practice and pick up a weapon, he said, no, I cannot touch a weapon. I'm a Christian. I cannot touch a weapon. So of course, he is. People try to court-martial him, and then his daddy applies some jack. He actually meets his old friend besides whom he had fought in World War I, and now that friend is now a general. So he gives a letter. He gets a letter from that general saying that please let this boy be released from the court martial, and he should be allowed to serve in the military. And then this is how his journey starts. And then of course there's a lot of ragging, because people think that what are you, you're like a freak, you're into war, and the Japs are killing us, and here you are, that you're a liability, you should not even exist over here. So people first of all try to get rid of him. Hey, leave military, this is not made for you. But then he has a thought that the world is suffering, and I need to contribute. My country is suffering, I need to contribute. People are dying, I need to contribute. And of course, he is a medic, so he wants to save people's lives and everything. Besides, he also has childhood memories where he almost killed his brother when he was a toddler, or maybe a little, maybe he must be 8 or 9 years old at that time. The boys were fighting. He had a brother, so both of them were fighting, and he put a brick across his face, and his brother almost died in that incident. And after that, of course, his father also used to commit a lot of violence on these boys. So finally his mother tried to turn him towards Christianity, so as to shape him into a better human being. It brought down his anger, it brought down his violence, and it brought it down to such an extent that now he is not even ready to pick up a weapon. He's always smiling, and as you can see over here, he's actually smiling even in the movie as well as in real life. There's a real life photograph. This is how that guy was. He was always, every single picture I saw of this guy, whether he's posing for the camera or whether he's just there and people shot him somewhere, maybe at a ceremony, he's always smiling. He's never seen poker faced. He's never seen giving any expression other than a smile. And this guy is in the military. So then what happens? To know that, you need to see the movie. I'll also tell you about the director of the movie, Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson, you must be knowing him by Braveheart movie, which came in, I think, 1995. In India, we know him just for Braveheart, but he made a lot of other movies as well. He also went for Passion of the Christ, that was also directed by Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson unfortunately underwent a divorce in 2011, and ever since then, his career graph is on a decline. There are many cases where Mel Gibson is seen to be a habitual drinker. Even in Canada, his license was revoked for, I think, he was put on probation for 3 years because he was drunk and he was reversing his car and he could not do it properly. So due to drunken driving. Although in India also we started taking it very seriously now. The traffic rules have become much stricter than they used to be. But of course, in the West, they are absolutely strict. So, if you're caught drunk and driving, then, you'll be put on a probation. You won't be allowed to drive your vehicle or any vehicle in general for a certain amount of time. So he was put on a probation for 3 years. So that is a career graph that this guy was going on. And of course, going through. And he also had a lot of drinking problem. So he joined a club, I think double A club, where they were purposely, actively using religion to get rid of alcoholism. And that's why it also explains why Mel Gibson is so religious. He is actually religious right from the beginning, but even to leave alcohol also, he, first of all, he left America. He started living on his farmhouse in Australia, and then he also joined that double A club where religion is used to get rid of alcoholism. And as you can see, the cast of this movie, everything marked over here, all these people marked in orange, they are all Australian people. Okay, the movie is made in Australia, shot in Australia. And this red means those people who are UK citizens, or maybe English, British. So Andrew is half American, half English, so I only colored in half in red. And Hugo is an Englishman, and this Richard Pyros is also half Australian, half English. So that is how the color coding is. Except Mel Gibson, no one is American American. Okay, no one is actually American American. Maybe except Vince, but he does not have that important role in the movie. Most of them are Australians, because Mel Gibson was in Australia at that time. The whole movie was shot in Australia. And but thank God, they don't have the Australian accent, or they don't have the British accent. So they had to convert their accent into the American accent, because these were American soldiers fighting in Japan, the war of Okinawa. Okay, so this was really taken good care of. But yeah, a lot of people were Australians, because Mel Gibson was going through all these things in Australia. The whole movie was shot within, see, September, October, November, December. Means within 4 months, the entire movie was, means 1 month more than a quarter. The whole movie was shot. So this also says that Mel Gibson was very passionate about this movie, and he's also known for his punctuality. Even during all this drinking problem thing, he is still said to be very punctual. He has that, just like Amitabh Bachchan is always punctual in Bollywood, Akshay Kumar is always punctual. He's known to be punctual. So likewise, Mel Gibson was also known to be punctual. So this guy completed the entire movie in just 4 months. And look at the collection. This movie was released in these two countries only, America and Australia, but just in these two countries. Of course, after that, OTT rights were given to people, and then it went worldwide. I saw it on Prime Video, by the way, Amazon Prime. The budget was only 40 million, and it till now the whole box office worldwide collection is 180, close to 200 million US dollars. So definitely you can say that this is a super hit movie. Now what will you like to see in this movie? Why should you go and see this movie? See, the first thing that you will really like in this movie, or what hit me basically, was The America is such a free country, man. These Western people are so free. They can talk about their religion with freedom. Unfortunately, in India, if you talk about Sanatan, you'll be labeled as, a very right wing, or maybe anti-secularism. And we have a very shitty way of, politicizing everything. But the closest thing to a person is, after family, probably, is the family upbringing, the sanskar, the what will you call, in a vague term I'll say religion, but more correct word would be spirituality. So spirituality is always close to a human being. Stripping a person of his spirituality, of the conviction that he follows, is actually a wrong idea. Like in this military, he is forced to, he's I mean, people try to force him to pick up a weapon and shoot. But his conviction means a thought that you firmly believe in. So his conviction, his firm belief is that, I won't be killing another human being. So that's his conviction. Maybe it might be coming through religious reasons or due to whatever reasons. No organization in the world should be forcing a person to leave his conviction. Even in India or in US, we don't even force the Islamist jihadi terrorists to leave their conviction. Okay, you believe in Islam, you believe in Islam, that's okay. This is how the world functions today. Even at that time, Americans were the most liberal amongst all the other bigots who were fighting. Americans were the best out of them. But even in America, this guy had to face a lot of hardships because of his conviction that, I won't be picking weapons. And the whole industry, or not industry, I would say, but the uh, whole organization of, military has a lot of killing into it, and you have to pick up a weapon. Even if you're a medic, you should be. So that is the first conundrum that will hit you. Conundrum means virodhabhas. So conundrum, this conundrum is going to hit you, that, what should you do, and why is he there in the military if he doesn't like killing people, or he doesn't like people to be killed, because he feels his job is over there to save people's lives. Many people are dying over there, he's there to save their lives. That's how a Christian guy, a very religious guy, comes into the military, and he's trying to help. Second thing that will really hit you is the Mel Gibson style of warfare. So Mel Gibson is also known for his Mad Max movies, where a lot of violence is there. You must have seen him in Braveheart. In Braveheart also there was a lot of violence, especially for 1995 movie. Of course, there was a lot of violence there. So Mel Gibson is known for violence, and here he is actually, in fact, glorifying a pacifist, which is Desmond Doss. So making a movie about a pacifist, which also involves a lot of gory war scenes. I think Mel Gibson has really pulled it off very nicely. You will see that there is a lot of finesse in his work. War scenes are shot in a very true manner, very vanilla flavor. He shot it the way it really happened. Of course, body parts were flying. Of course, there was a lot of violence. There was a lot of cruelty. Japanese would, even kill American soldiers. Even after this massacre, the Japanese would still go there and find if someone is still alive, and they would kill them. And sometimes an American soldier would be, still willing to kill at least one Japanese, and of course he was shot after that. This happened so many times in this movie. It was shown the way it really happened. So that's what is the second thing that will hit you. The war that was shown, the brutality that was shown, and the nakedness in the war. Nakedness in the sense, just the way it happened. They did not like to sugarcoat anything. Mel Gibson did not sugarcoat anything. He showed it the way it really happened, and it's really going to knock you off, because this is, I think, even better than Mad Max. If you compare the war scenes, or maybe combat scenes, or this kind of scenes, violence is also, I think, a little more than Mad Max, you can say. uh, Mad Max was a little crazy movie. This is not crazy, but yeah, there's a lot of violence, and yeah, you will see a lot of things like, uh, you will see, the Japanese people will come out with a white flag saying that, oh, we are surrendering, and then they will blow up all the Americans using those. Using grenades, and of course that grenade was kicked off by Desmond Doss, and then he fell off. He was injured while he was taken down the ridge. He said, no, 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 my Bible is there, please find my Bible. And then he was stopped, he was given his Bible, and then he goes away. So this was his conviction. He was doing all this because of whatever sanskar he gathered from his mother, or maybe his church, or whatever. And that really, I mean, both these factors will hit you. One is the conviction conundrum, another is this war scenes. And finally, what is the take of this movie? I think, what can you learn from this movie? I think, uh, what I said earlier, this is what is to be learned from this movie, that somebody's conviction should not be challenged and should not be changed. If a person believes in a certain idea, it should be allowed to stay with him or her. you know uh, that is the moral of the story, I feel. What else do you feel about this movie? Have you watched it? It is a 2016 movie, so there are chances that you must have watched it. If you haven't, then go on Amazon Prime Videos and please do watch it. Do let me know in the comment section what you liked or disliked about this movie. Until next time, Jai Shri Ram. ये है अमित शिरासाव, अमित शिरासाव, अमित शिरासाव, अमित शिरासाव.